Coaches Show is brought to you by Chris Lindahl Real Estate and by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Minnesota.
For the Gophers, your regular season Big Ten champions.
One mission accomplished. But there is so much more greatness to achieve.
Cross for Perbix, moves in and scores!
The Golden Gophers have golden dreams to raise another banner to the rafters.
Pull on net. Tip pull.
Joining the greats of years gone past. Coach Bob Motzko has led the charge and has his team ready for what's ahead. The bench boss of the Maroon and Gold joins us next on the Gophers Coaches Show.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Gopher Coaches Show. I'm Jim Rich, and we are honored to have joining us for the first time this season Bob Motzko, who led the Gophers to their first regular season Big Ten title in 5 years, joining us from the bowels of Mariucci in his office, working on the game plan for the weekend. But first, before we get into the Penn State encounter, how's it feel to be champs?
Great. I mean, it was, it's banner season, and that's the first one that comes up. And I know that's a term thrown around college hockey, but it's a testament to our season and our guys and our leadership and, how we battle. I think consistently good all year long, and then really made a strong push down the stretch. And a lot of things happened to us this year, and I think that's the big story for us. Nothing fazed us. We just kept finding a way to get better and next man up, and people would pick up the slack, and we never made a big deal about anything, and we just went about our business. And there's a lot to come yet, but I'm awful proud of this group.
Yeah, it has been remarkable. Take us back, though, to that moment when your team clinched the regular season title and your captains went over to pick up that trophy. Who are you the most pleased to see grab that hardware?
Well, I think your seniors, your captains, that so much goes behind the scenes with the leadership of a team, not from the coaches. And there you see Sammy Walker and Ben Meyer and Jack LaFontaine is with us for half the year. We got a great camaraderie inside our group. We were in the hunt, and we had a bunch of guys that wanted to go for it. Now, we needed a little help that weekend. We needed Michigan to lose one game, and
right.
They did. They lost two of them, but we had to do our part, and that's the most important. We did our part, and I'm just proud of our whole group. And you do want to park it, though, because we're in playoffs now, and you don't celebrate too long. You put that trophy away, and now you're playing for another one.
I know, but it is such a cool moment, and obviously there's so many more cool moments ahead. But just that moment when you get to that spot, it's got to be satisfying somewhat for all those kids that have put in that time and effort to get this program to that spot.
Yeah, and Don won the first four, Lucia, so it's been done here many times, and we've been close the last couple of years, and I think that's what we're proud of too. That this program, there's so much tradition and history here, and expectations for the right way, that this group put it on their shoulders to say, okay, because a regular season title is big news. We play a balanced schedule, 24 games, all the conferences. I mean, it is just a heated battle, to the finish line, and you go through, endure injuries and things that happen to your roster, and slumps, and you go through things, but there's always one team left standing, and this year happens to be us.
Yep. All right. Now this team has won 8 straight, and you've outscored your opponents 37-11 during that stretch. Was there a moment in your mind that the switch may have turned on for this club?
I'm not going to go to a moment as much as the one thing I will say is early in the year. If you remember, we'd split like 5 straight weeks.
Yep.
And what happens when you coach the Gophers, and you get a lot of attention on our program, thank goodness. That's one reason we're here. But we were getting criticized for splitting. And so I was sounding like a cheerleader, I think, to the public, because I go, we're winning every weekend. Our team's getting better. You could feel it. And we just stayed the course. And sometimes, you let that outside noise, and that's all it is outside noise. You can't let it get to you, because we were growing as a team, and sticking together, getting through some certain things. And that's what I'm going to remember most, not like some moment. The moments were early when, maybe it could have went south on you, but we just never would let that happen. And yeah, we wanted to win a couple more games early in the year. It didn't happen. The sky wasn't falling. But we just had to hunker down over here in our dungeon and keep working. And this is what this group did.
All right, the heart and soul leader of your team, I'll say this, you can change it if you'd like, but I really think he captures the spirit of your squad, and that's Captain Ben MEYERS. Coming from a small-town program in Delano, then a couple of years of juniors, he was never a guy that had the spotlight coming up like everybody's, oh, this guy's going to be unbelievable. But now he potentially is going to be the most sought-after NHL free agent after the year he's put together for you. What makes Ben so good? What makes this guy tick?
Well, he's a spark plug. He's an engine that doesn't, he only has one gear, and he gets there every single day in practice, every day in the weight room, honor roll student in the classroom, and just a tough, ornery competitor that with a lot of talent. I mean, it is, and we're singling out one guy right now, and I think we got a whole pile of them.
Yep.
But Ben is special. There's no question that, he's just a junior. He played 2 years in the USHL, out of Delano. We knew what we were getting. We're so fortunate that he ended up with us. And there have been times this season where he just puts the team on his back and says, okay, here we go, boys. And then we have so many other guys that follow suit, and couldn't be more happy for Ben and the season he's having, and, being able to make the Olympic team and have that experience, that he can carry for the rest of his life. And, he's just one great Gopher, and we're all so fortunate to have him here. I can tell you that.
Yeah, he certainly has done sensational this year, and there's going to be more accolades coming his way as we get into that part of the season. And this is a story we touched on when you were here on Sports Now a couple of weeks ago. The goaltending you've been getting down the stretch has been absolutely sensational, and it's a guy that really may have not been in your plans until you got that phone call on a Sunday morning that your star goaltender Jack LaFontaine was leaving, and Justin Close stepped up in a way I think few could have imagined. How has this guy mentally handled being thrust into the spotlight, saying that this is your net now?
Well, I mean, there's so many stories behind this, and what an incredible story that it is. First and foremost, I mean, Jack LaFontaine will go down as one of the great goalies that ever played here. First team All-American last year, Richter Award winner. And I have not questioned the decision. I mean, I never did. I said, let's get history, we'll write it at the end. But, between he and his family, they made a decision, and it was over. I mean, he made his decision to turn professional, and no one's ever going to question him and why he got to that point. But we had to move on. And the guy up next for us was Justin Close. And I'll tell you, I'll go back to, his freshman year. He's our third string goalie. I have my end of the year meeting, and sometimes it's very difficult for someone that didn't play a game. Is this for you? Do you want to stick it out, and battle? And I'll never forget how he told me, he said, Coach, I understand what's going on here. I'm going to work my tail off to push these goalies and make them the best they can be. And if you ever need me, I'm going to be ready. And it wasn't just a thing that you hear because he wanted to say it. He believed in it.
Right.
And that's how he played every day. Like he might have the most respect before this even happened amongst his teammates. And when it happened, like guys right away, well, he's ready. Closer's ready. Everyone calls him the closer. And and I've jokingly, I said it to you 2 weeks ago or so, I mean, it's a great story, or the great story is how dumb I was not to have tried it before. Because, it's kind of the first 2 weeks it happened. I mean, Justin's playing very well. I didn't say anything because okay, this can't be real. And then you go 3 weeks, then you go 4 weeks. Well, we see it every day in practice, and he's just he's older. He's very mature. Another honor roll student, great in the classroom, extremely hard worker, and he's just settled into that's the thing. He's very calm. He's a full adult, and nothing's going to faze him. And we're in good hands right now with the closer. I can tell you that. And he's been playing outstanding. And now this is the next step, get into the playoffs with Justin. But we've got tons of faith in him, and we couldn't be more happy for him. And what a lesson to athletes.
Yeah,
a lot of times parents jump out and want to get on coaches, and we weren't making a mistake here. Our goalie last year was an All-American, but this kid bided his time for his opportunity, and it came his way.
Yeah, and
he did it all on his own, and just being one heck of a human being and one tough competitor. And we've got more work to do, but what a great lesson to our guys inside our room. Never to complain and just work your tail off, and good things will happen.
Yeah, especially for those guys that look at the transfer portal now as the way to go, instead of sticking it through. All right, now this is your 4th season at the University of Minnesota. I want to know, has your approach changed at all to your daily preparation, your practice plans? Because over the years, now, it's obviously something not new. You have 17 years of coaching at Division I, but I was just wondering if your mindset on practices and how you hold them has changed over the years.
No, I don't think it's, hopefully we've matured and gotten better and tweaked but I felt one of the strong suits to our teams back in St. Cloud, and since we've been here, it's all about the playoffs. It's all about how we prepare and get ready down the stretch, second parts of seasons, and I believe that our team's been a playoff team. We got cut short 2 years ago with with COVID after we'd knocked Notre Dame off.
Yep. And
we were heading to Penn State, and last year we won the playoff championship and won our first game in the NCAA. We were playing really good hockey at the end, and then ran into a great Mankato team. And I think we're doing the same thing right now. Is we build our team to be playing our best down the stretch. There's a lot of belief inside our locker room and inside our team in each other. And so I got great confidence in my staff and Ben Gordon and Garrett Raboyne and Brennan Pottersay and Paul Martin and Jacob Leroy. We throw a lot on I'm a delegator, and we have a lot of talent here, and I rely on them heavily, and it seems to be working. I know we're only going to be judged here by one game. That's the last game, and trust me, it's in our, we want to get there, and we believe we are going to one day, and we got a shot this year. But we're playing our best hockey at the right time of the year, and we got a good bunch of guys that are fun to watch.
All right, so now it's the semifinals of the Big Ten tournament this Saturday at Mariucci Arena. Tickets only $20, gophersports.com. Your opponent is Penn State, who upset Ohio State. So this is a team coming in here feeling pretty good about themselves, and they also know they have to keep winning if they want to get to the NCAA tournament. You were 3-1 against the Nittany Lions during the regular season, winning the last 3, but none were easy. What do you expect Saturday night? Does anything in the past help you prepare for what you're going to run into Saturday?
Yeah, I think, well, one thing, Penn State is a challenge. They play differently than most teams in our conference. And they play different, very up-tempo, stretching, throwing a lot of pucks in the neutral zone. And I didn't see a lot of that in the NCHC when I came over. And it's taken us a while to adjust to it. And so if we got a little bit out of that, how you got to play very cautious when you lose the puck against them, because they're so fast to get up the rink. My biggest concern right now is I don't like the fact we have a bye. I think to win the league championship and not play is a punishment. But we only have 7 teams, and I can't change it. It's just the rules that we have. I would have just as soon kept playing. So we've been off for 2 weeks. and it's a 1-game shot, so we don't get a whole game to warm up. So we got to, we've just got to have our foot on the pedal and ready to go come Saturday night and at 8 o'clock game time to get after this. And there's no question when you win, and I've been there before, when you're on the road and you win your first playoff series in 2 out of 3. I mean, we talked about it. That bus ride back to Penn State was probably, I assume they bus versus fly on that trip, was very exciting. I'm sure their players are excited.
Yep.
They're a young team that's been getting better. So we got a game on our hands. I can tell you that. But it has to be, I'm really more concerned that we get the rust off after being, out this time of year and really kind of get through that first period and get into the game.
All right. Well, Coach, we're going to take a break here, but when we return, we're going to discuss more how you coach, how strategies change now that we're into that time of the season where it's win or go home scenarios. So how does Coach Motzko prepare for these pressure-packed battles? We'll dive into that next here on the Gophers Coaches Show. Welcome back to the Gophers Coaches Show. Gopher men's hockey coach Bob Motzko rejoins us. And Bob, the last time your team was on the ice was the regular season finale. You wrapped up with perhaps the most complete series of the season. You blitzed the Badgers 2 straight, outscoring them 13-0. Tell me you didn't find something wrong on that weekend to point out to the team. You let them skate, right? Or did you go to the video
weekend,
and go?
Jim. So you're right. No, of course not. I tell you what, and I did say this because the scores were not indicative. We kind of blew both games open late. I mean,
right.
Wisconsin played their tails off, and we got great goaltending and really good special teams. So it was a great weekend for us. But then they went in and beat Notre Dame and made a very close series. And Notre Dame had just swept Michigan the week before. So Wisconsin was playing awful well at the end. We just had a lot of things go well for us. We've got the depth. When we get going, we're going to score some goals. It doesn't come every night, but it sure did that weekend.
All right. Now, the University of Minnesota has had a proud tradition of providing talent to USA Hockey for Olympic teams and national teams. You've been a coach on several, won some gold medals at World Juniors, and this past Olympics, you had 3 players join the red, white, and blue. How proud are you of those guys and that tradition that the University of Minnesota has been there whenever their country calls?
Well, I've got a great relationship with USA Hockey, and I've been I'm so fortunate that I've got to coach for our U.S. programs, but to have our 3 guys make it. We do have outstanding tradition here, and we were just able now, because of the change with the pros not being able to go, that they dipped into our team, and Ben Meyer and KNIES and FABES they're just 3 outstanding players, and I know that they were well respected on the team. And we were all, so proud. It was tough that the games were, in Beijing, so the game times were crazy. I don't know how many. It was either 7 in the morning or 10 at night, and that we got to follow. But I know they made a huge impact on the team, and we're so darn proud of them.
All right. Lastly, for you in this segment, we're going to talk about win or go home. Does it change your philosophy? If you win Saturday, you keep going. If you lose, your chance at a Big Ten playoff championship are over. Does it change how you approach things, how you coach on the bench?
No, right now, no. We know we're in the NCAA tournament, and trust me, we're going for the Big Ten title, but we got to get through, we got to get through Saturday night with Penn State first, and we are hosting. We want to just continue to play our best, and we have been now, for the last month and a half, and on top of things, and get healthy. We still got, Lucius is our only player out right now, but everybody else is healthy. Our guys know what to do. We started the year, you're putting all your systems in. We play a very up-tempo style of game. We're going to make more mistakes early in the year because we play on the edge. But as the season wears on, we round out those edges and become more responsible in our play and to continue to play offensively like we do, but really lock in our defensive style and our systems from that. And it takes a while to get there. And we're in a good spot. We just want to get going here Saturday night.
I know, the waiting is the hardest part. I think that'd be a good song maybe, perhaps. All right, when we come back here on the Gopher Coaches Show, the last time the Gophers won it all, our guest had perhaps the best view of it all. We'll look back at those great victories and what it means for this group. That's next here on the Gopher Coaches Show. Welcome back to the Gopher Coaches Show. Bob Motzko, kind enough to stay with us. And Bob, as you know, the Gophers have won 5 national championships. The last time back-to-backs in 02 and 03, and you were a big part of that. What do you remember from those teams, and what can you take into the modern day that perhaps there was some things that happened along the way that could maybe aid you to getting another one?
Well, the one thing I can tell you is they're darn hard to come by, and you relish the moments that they happened. And you know, it had been 20 plus years in between the 70s and the 2000s when, you know, we won this game at the XL. But what you remember about this one was in St. Paul, how it all set up. We're down late in the game, pull the goalie. Matt Kowalska ties it. Grant Patoli scores there.
Yep.
And Grant, you know, we tease him all the time, and you know, he gets all the glory for it. But if Matt Kowalska doesn't tie it in the last minute of the game, you know, we don't get there. And but just the atmosphere in the X that night, I'm not, you know, the only thing I could come close, and I wasn't there. I'm sure you were 87 and 91.
Yes, I was.
Dome.
Yep.
I'm sure you were there, but the electricity in the building that night was incredible.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Bob, thank you.
Whenever they announced the crowd that night,
it was a couple thousand more. Absolutely. Bob, thanks so much for joining us. That'll do it for this week's Gopher Coaches Show. Go to gophersports.com to get tickets to this weekend's game. Good night, everybody.